talk more about the hotly debated bill and its impact on clean energy, I'm joined by Daniel Kreeger. He's the Executive Director at the Association of Climate Change Officers, as well as a Senior Advisor at Voltaria Electric. Welcome to the show, Daniel. Great having you.
Thanks for having me.
First, stocks of major renewable energy companies rose on Tuesday after a tax on solar and wind projects was removed from the Senate version of the bill. But it came as a surprise to the industry in the first place to be included in the measure. How did this happen in the first place?
Well, I don't know why it would have been a surprise. It's a logical extension of the stance of removing the tax credit away from EV vehicles. It's been very clear that this administration has said it's going to align itself with the opposite end of the energy spectrum, which is the fossil fuel industry. So it's not a surprise. It shouldn't be a surprise, and it shouldn't be further surprise in the future when policy steps are taken that are contrary to the advancement of clean energy technology.
And the American Clean Power Association said the move could cost solar and wind industry up to $7 billion. How significant is that for the outlook of the industry?
Yeah, the cost is going to be non-trivial. Bear in mind that these are big industries. It's a fraction of it's a few percent, and it's going to slow things down. But it doesn't. It's not going to kill the industry, but it's definitely going to slow investment down in wind and solar technologies.
And today, jobs was a big headline. Will these cuts have an impact on jobs in the sector?
100%. The fastest growing job places in the energy sector are in clean energy. They absolutely dwarf fossil fuel jobs at this point year over year. And so any sort of effort that slows down solar, wind, and electrification is really, it's hurting jobs.
And onto EVs, right, electric vehicles. The bill eliminates tax credits for electric vehicles after September. How is that? How do you think that will impact the market in the U.S.?
Well, it certainly. First of all, that part is not news. Elon and Donald have been fighting over this and that's been in the public domain for quite a while. I think there's an argument to be made here in terms of cars that the electric car now is so far ahead of where it was 15 years ago that I think it's going to be okay. There's a factor. My own car had a nice $7,500 credit to it, and that certainly was a factor in the price. Where I'm concerned is the next generation technologies, not just cars, but the heavy-duty trucks, the boating industry, the other sort of electrification that is a laggard to cars because the technology, the battery technology, needs to come along further to get to the scale that we've seen with cars already. That's the part that I'd be concerned about, is the slowing down of investment in those areas.
And Daniel, at the same time, the main EV maker in the U.S. has seen its deliveries plunge. I'm talking about Tesla, right? Yeah. It has seen its deliveries plunge 14% in the latest quarter. Elon Musk faces the possibility of a second straight annual sales drop. I mean, for the American side of the industry, that looks bad.
Yeah, although I don't think you can overlook how consequential his role as a fire starter in it politically is now. I mean, his going into this administration was a double-edged sword for him, to a level that there were board conversations about successorship. So it's not surprising to me when you see people selling their cars because of the role that he played in the administration, that you've got a company that's struggling because of his political stance. I think the real question is, what does the automotive industry electrification look like as a whole? And I'm not clear that it is as damaging as it was specifically to Tesla.
I see. So on final balance, how do you think this analysis is going to impact carbon emissions in the coming years, all the carbon emissions from the U.S., of course?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, the reality is we're not doing enough. We haven't been doing enough. This is not just the United States. Worldwide, the world is not doing enough to curb and slow down emissions. So any major solution that helps with that advancement not being invested in fully is a problem. That said, we need to electrify as much as we can. We also need to clean the grid. So, and there are a lot of other things that we need to do. So this is a piece of the puzzle. It's an important one. I think it's a visible one. It's a morale issue. It's a getting people behind success in this effort is important, and taking steps in the wrong direction is definitely not the path we need to be going.